potential for a second Donald Trump presidency is already shaping the geopolitical landscape as US allies and his opponents respond to the chance of him returning. So what would a reinstated President Trump mean for the ongoing conflicts in the Middle East and Ukraine, as well as China's regional aggression? And are Joe Biden's foreign policies working? Joining me now is former US Army Vice Chief of Staff, General Jack Keane. General Jack Keane, thank you so much for joining us. Whoever is elected to the White House, what should their number one priority be when it comes to securing the geopolitical environment that we're in?
Yeah, well, the number one challenge the United States is facing is clearly our inability to deter our adversaries, China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. They have all stepped up aggression in the last 2 to 3 years. What is happening is our adversaries fundamentally believe that the United States leadership is weak, that we've lost our political will and resolve to deter them, and as such, they see opportunity. And they are exploiting this vulnerability to their advantage. And that, I believe, is the number one challenge that the future president of the United States is facing.
It's interesting you say that they see an opportunity. Donald Trump has long maintained that if he was in power, Russia would never have invaded Ukraine. Would these aggressors in these wars change their tack in the event of a potential change in the White House leader?
If we don't step up our military capabilities to deal with the realities of what we're facing, just so our audience understands, if we had to fight a war with China today, we would be challenged to win. And indeed, we could lose. When we get within 1,000 miles of mainland China, the military advantage goes decisively to China. They outgun us with offensive missiles, anti-ship missiles, with air power, and with surface power. The only advantage we have is in submarines. And when you look at Russia and Iran, if we had to fight more than one war at a time, that would challenge us significantly. We are inadequately resourced to fight one, much less two. We don't have the defense industrial base to support it, and we don't have the capabilities in our military. Our Army is the smallest it's ever been, yet since going back prior to World War II. Our Air Force is the smallest it's been in 40 years. Our Navy is 60 ships short of the minimum it believes is required to deter our adversaries. That is the serious challenges that we're facing in terms of lack of capabilities. And our adversaries see it. And when you couple the lack of capability with the lack of will, that is why they have stepped up their aggression.
Well, how did it get to that point in the first place where the US is leaving itself so open?
Yeah, it's a great question. 9/11 wars was the driver for that. Iraq and Afghanistan was most of all of it. And then we had a bill passed in the legislature of the United States here that Republicans, Democrats both signed up for, called sequestration. And it had to do with if you're going to raise domestic spending, you have to raise defense spending. If you're going to reduce domestic spending, you have to reduce defense spending. That kneecapped defense spending for years. We're not looking to fight a war. We're looking to prevent war. We didn't prevent what's happening in Ukraine. We did not deter Russia. We haven't deterred the Iranians and their proxies for what's going on in the Middle East. And believe me, it's being destabilized, and it's likely going to get worse. And we need to make certain that we're going to deter President Xi. After all, he has told his military, be ready by 2027. If Taiwan doesn't voluntarily submit to reunification, then we may have to use force to achieve that reunification. Right now, we got to move with a sense of urgency to get the kind of deterrence capability that we need to make certain he doesn't take that step.